Okay, guys, there's a problem here. This is the National Weather full radar on weather.gov. Okay, this is Cuba. This is Miami. There's a storm happening, actually a circular storm, a nice little harp ring is being cooked up here outside of Miami. I've been watching that grow tonight. But there is no hurricane here, okay? And this is not the only place where there is no hurricane. There is no hurricane here either. There's no hurricane on Intellicast. There are little harp rings popping up in the Gulf of Mexico, as you can see in Texas and down here, but there's no hurricane here. There's no hurricane on weather.gov either. And weather.gov is actually showing us that there's a little rainstorm here in Puerto Rico. There's a little rainstorm south of Havana. There's a little rainstorm west of Miami. But there's no hurricane. Now, if we go to our CGI buddies at NOAA, we see that according to these guys, now let's get these all up to speed now. It's 11:54 p.m. on September 7th, so it's almost midnight. I'm going to hit reset here on my browser so that we get the latest images from the GOES satellite. And you'll see that this storm, here's Cuba right here, and here's that little peninsula off Cuba. And we'll see that this storm is approaching Cuba, and it's passing over Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico's in its path, and we have these little, I think it's Bahamas or something up here. Okay, and then we also have this other one, Katia, which is really cooking up a storm, no pun intended. We got a big, huge one here, a little eye developing, you know, it's just really serious CGI stuff, right? But then we'll go back to Intellicast, where all we see here are harp rings and nothing. This is the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and there is no weather over these, okay? But let's just see, maybe because the weather doesn't hook up there, let's just check and see. But it does hook up here. See, we have Puerto Rico here. We have a little storm that just passed through Puerto Rico. And nothing here. There is no hurricane here. Now, how do I know this is working? I know this is working because if I go to the north, up here, I know this is working because this rainstorm has given me a wet dog. I took my dog out to go to the bathroom, and this rainstorm that you see coming through here got my dog wet because it's raining. Because this is what it looks like when it rains, and there's a storm here, and got my dog wet. Okay, right, I was out here then, right out there. So I know that this radar is working because it shows the rain that just got my dog wet. And it's active. It's showing the storms moving to the west of Miami and to the south of Havana. I keep wanting to say Savannah. And it's also showing the rain that's in Puerto Rico right now. And there's an entire hurricane missing here. Now, I'll drag this over to the Gulf if I can without it freaking out. Okay, I'll take it over to the Gulf here. It's frozen for a second here, but it'll keep going in a minute. And there is no hurricane here. If this is a hurricane, then I just went through Armageddon, because the storm that I took my dog out in, it's showing up, and there's nothing showing up here. So if this is a hurricane, then, you know. So there's something really screwed up here, really screwed up. This is not happening. One of the two things is true. And since none of the national radars that you can access are showing that there's any sort of a hurricane, I'm a little concerned about this. And just showing harp rings, but there's no hurricane in the Gulf here. And there's a hell of a harp ring cooking up outside of Miami here. And you see the little bit of rain on south of Havana here. But there's no hurricane coming up through this peninsula and these little islands. These things should be in the eye of the hurricane right now. And there should be at least the rainstorms ahead of the hurricane coming through and showing up somewhere on this map. But they're not showing up on any of them. So here's why I'm concerned about this. Because when I found out that this hurricane was coming from Africa, I thought it was the most absurd thing I'd ever heard of. I mean, being a person who's grown up in the Great Lakes, I know what a body of water does to a storm. And it's not only does it make it very unpredictable, but it's impossible for a storm to go straight across the water. It always moves. Storms don't ever go linear across water. So the soonest it could have gotten here, it's 3,096 miles away. I used the Dominican Republic as my benchmark because I know it hit today in the Dominican Republic, which is cause for concern because it doesn't look like a hurricane hit that place, which is good. I'm not complaining, but here's the distance, 3,096 miles. I'll let you guys compare my math, but I tracked the days and the miles per hour every day. And even if the storm had traveled all the way through the end of today to arrive to there, it still wouldn't have made it because it was 864 miles short yesterday. So at 16 miles per hour, if it had traveled another, 384 miles, it still wouldn't have arrived. So here, I'll let you pause the video and check my math on this. But the storm hit 864 miles shy, supposedly. There's 864 miles missing between Africa and the Dominican Republic. So that's one thing. Another thing that was very concerning to me was that if you look at the damage that was caused this is a gas station, okay? This is from Harvey. You guys have seen the damages caused of Harvey. I mean, there's just crap everywhere. Everything's destroyed from Harvey, and Harvey's supposed to be half the size of Hurricane Irma, this Hurricane Irma. But this is what the Dominican Republic looked like after Hurricane Irma hit. This is ridiculous, you guys. These signs are still up and standing. These poles, these wires, there was rain here, but it's just rain. It doesn't look anything like what Harvey did. I mean, these gas stations are still standing. These people are fine, which is, God bless them. I'm glad for this. But there's no damage. I mean, I know that they're showing us crazy pictures of this one island called Barbuda, and that they took everybody's guns in the Virgin Islands. But these people didn't even look like they prepared for a hurricane. I mean, there's something really screwed up going on here, and it doesn't matter about the speculation here. What really matters is that there's no hurricane showing up on radar. Okay, so there's something very screwed up here. This is radar, and the radar is showing these harp rings. So I'm wondering what the hell is being cooked up over there to the west of Miami, and over here, because these things have gotten worse as the evening has progressed. But I just thought I'd show you that there is no hurricane on Intellicast or weather.com. There's no hurricane in the Gulf. There's no hurricane over here in Cuba, Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas. There's no hurricane here. The only place there's a hurricane is in the CGI-ville of NOAA. And that should concern everybody.